I noticed that Call of Duty Ghosts was getting a lot of attention lately for being an underrated game because of how poor the reception of Black Ops 7 was. Ghosts did this one thing better than every single Call of Duty. It had the best microtransactions in all of Call of Duty. And today we're talking about why Call of Duty Ghosts had the best microtransactions in COD history. Before I keep going with this video does not mean that I think microtransactions are good, but if they're going to keep doing them, then take Ghosts as an example. Modern COD is taking a free-to-play microtransaction approach with a game that costs $70. It's terrible, to be honest. But let's just jump in. This is why Call of Duty Ghosts has the best microtransactions in COD history. This reason is about the price. We'll get into the content a bit later, but first, let's just focus on what it all costs. Nowadays, you want a bundle. Boom, $20. You get one blueprint or one skin. You don't get it on all guns. Back in the day, in one weapon bundle, it was $2, and here's what you would get. You would get a weapon camo, reticle, patch, player card, and background. So that's 5 things, right? Remember that. One weapon bundle that costs $199. Gave you 5 things. Also, the weapon camos on all guns. So 5 things, $299, right? So with $20 nowadays, you can get one bundle and you get like what, 5 things here? $199 times 10, about $20. Tax obviously will make it a bit up, right? So 5 times 10 is 50. You get 50 items, you get 10 camos, you get 10 of each thing. 10 camos, 10 reticles, 10 player cards, 10 patches. For $20, you get 50 in-game items. Nowadays in Call of Duty, $20 is just gonna barely get you like 6 items. It's not even gonna be for everybody. It's gonna be like you can get a skin for one operator, for one gun. You get a player card and whatever. But back then, $20 got you 50 items if you really think about it. But let's keep talking about the price. So nowadays, $20, one bundle, and battle pass is like 10. It's like whatever, right? So the most expensive microtransaction would have been the map packs, $15, right? And what did you get? You got 4 multiplayer maps and an extinction map, which was the zombies mode. I'm not going to say extinction is as good as zombies, but still, that's a map for the game mode. That's still content. Now, $20 gets you one bundle. Doesn't give you a lot of stuff. Remember, one bundle. And back in the day, $15 got you 4 multiplayer maps and a 3rd game mode map. That's unbelievable. That's great. And when we look at like what they did with the prices, like I said, the most expensive item is $15. The other stuff is a skin that changes the dog into a wolf, $199. Everything is almost $199. All the skins, even all the character skins, like you got Rourke, Zakayev, Keegan, Merrick, Hesh, like all these guys from Call of Duty who you recognize in the campaigns, all these guys who you got to play in the campaign, you now get to play in them as multiplayer, which is really cool. And also something really unique that they did, the voiceover packs, which is really cool. Weapons as well, squad packs, really cool stuff. And you could buy the legend packs. You could buy Captain Price, Macrop soap, $4, really cool. Just off a price basis, all the content in Call of Duty Ghosts would have been $170. And you're like, oh, $170, that's a lot of money. Obviously, you don't need to buy every single microtransaction. But if you tried to add up all the microtransactions in 1 year of modern Call of Duty, it would have to be in the thousands, right? It would be ridiculous. Battle passes, skins, bundles. Like imagine every single bundle, every single skin, you bought all of it. It would have to be in the thousands minimum. And in COD Ghosts, you got everything $169. And remember, with that $169, you also like imagine the 4 map packs, right? That's going to be 16 maps and 4 maps for the extinction game mode, plus all the cosmetics. Nowadays, you'll spend all that thousands, you'll have a bunch of skins, but no content. Super lame. I like that Ghost was really affordable. It appealed more to most consumers who can't just throw away $20 like that. I think some people will maybe bring up inflation, but even still, $20 is ridiculous. And if you make the skins cheaper, then more people are able to buy them. And if the percentage of the player base which is able to buy your skins increases, then the sales of the microtransactions and the skins will also increase as well because of the fact that the percentage of the player base which is able to afford those microtransactions has increased. You following me here? Keep up. Let's go. That was the price. You heard what I said. Now here's my second reason why Call of Duty Ghosts has the best microtransactions in Call of Duty history. Let's actually talk about the content real quick. Let's talk about the skins for a second. The skins are cool. We've got characters from campaigns where we recognize, super awesome, nothing crazy, really nice. You got the 3 legend packs with Captain Price, Makarov, and Soap, and Ghosts, which is really cool. They're not characters that are in this universe necessarily, and it's really cool that we're able to play as them, and we only get to play as them for $3.99. You could buy the classic Ghost pack, which is kind of just a mask, and also gave you, I think, a player card, a patch, and something like that. So like even the content, right? Like I said, let's talk about the map packs for just 1 second. Boom, 60 multiplayer maps and 4 extinction maps for 15 times 4. Do some math there, guys. Bunch of weapon camos that were cool, but you also got stuff with them. We got this one called Space Cats, and it's pretty goofy. I like this one. Space Cats is kind of funny. While I'm recording this, I'm actually looking at the skins, so I can kind of like give you guys like the update. I feel like the content is just really cool, but like the map packs, the skins, you also get to buy 2 weapons for $3.99. Having extra weapons that you could buy, kind of unfair. I could see where some don't like that, but it's way better than supply drops or having to play like a bunch of hours to get level 85 in a battle pass, right? Imagine there's like some super OP gun in the battle pass. It's at like like level 93. Even if you do pay the $10, you're not guaranteed to get the weapon, right? Because you still have to play the game a bunch. At least here, you just pay your $4 and you get the gun. The squad pack is a group of cosmetics, which is pretty cool. And you got multiple cosmetics, only $3.99. It's like multiple outfits, really cool. There were 2 of them, voiceover packs. Let's just backtrack for 1 second here. We had Snoop Dogg on Call of Duty as a voiceover pack. So imagine you had a kill streak, had Snoop Dogg going like, hey man, AC-130 inbound. You know what I'm saying? And then we also had the drill instructor. I mean, we all know what a drill instructor sounds like. The drill instructor and Snoop Dogg voice pack, super cool. You can have extra slots, only $1.99. So I think that gives you extra slots for classes. Yeah, extra loadouts, which is really cool. Only $1.99 for those people who make a bunch of classes and don't think the 10 classes is enough. Let me like piece all I'm saying together here real quick. The camos, super cool. The skins, really great. Taking campaign characters, putting in the game. Voiceover packs, that's unique. I don't know if we've had that before. Extra slots, really convenient for those people who make a lot of classes and really take the game seriously. The squad packs, giving you a lot of cosmetics for a cheap price. The map packs giving you a lot of content, not that expensive, nothing crazy, good stuff, better than the season stuff in my opinion, and a skin that changes your dog into a wolf if that's what you like. Overall, this right here is amazing. I love it. The content in the actual microtransactions for a ghost was really cool, but there's one thing just nailing the content and the price. But you know what else they did? They had the on theme factor. When you look at the cosmetics of Call of Duty Ghosts and you see characters like Makarov, Dope Price, characters from the campaign you played in Ghosts like Keegan, Hesh, Merrick, Rourke, you notice one thing. You notice that if you did play the game and you were actually in game in the multiplayer and you saw those skins, you wouldn't think they're out of place. For example, if you play Black Ops 6 and you see American Dad, what do you think immediately? I can't predict what you think exactly, but me personally, I'm gonna think this is out of place. It completely takes me out of the game. I don't feel like I'm playing Call of Duty anymore. I'm playing a military shooter, or at least something that feels like one. You know what I mean? Like when you played Ghosts, I feel like in the in-game world which you created, it was immersive and it didn't do anything to take me out, because all the characters and all the skins were completely modern. The game was a modern game and it didn't have anything futuristic. There were no tracer packs or ridiculous skins. One thing I will mention though, which you probably wouldn't have known unless I mentioned here with the content, is that there were 2 maps that had a kill streak. One was Michael Myers and one was Predator. That's as far as off theme it goes. But the thing is, to be able to play as Michael Myers or Predator in this game, you have to get a field order, which is a little blue briefcase, which comes after you kill someone. And then it's going to tell you to do something. And then once you do the thing that the game is telling you to do, there's a chance. It's not 100% guaranteed. You get a care package, you call it in, and you might get it. It's not 100%. Not 100%. Remember that. Which is really cool, because then whenever you would get that surprise, you'll be like, oh my God, dude, I can play as Michael Myers. Oh my God, I can play as the Predator. But dude, if I saw the Predator and Michael Myers running around every game, it would get really boring, really quick, and really take me out of the game. But I think even those small collabs, they nailed that stuff. And I feel like not enough people talk about this. When you really do look at Ghosts and what it did for the purchase and the microtransactions, I think it just nailed it. Like I said, better than any other Call of Duty. And this is another reason why. Even when it goes off theme with the Predator and Michael Myers, it doesn't in a fun way. It doesn't in an exciting way. It's surprising. You're not going to see them every game. And they're only on 2 maps. They're not on every map. They're only on these 2 specific maps. You have to complete a field order and then call in a kill streak to get them. You have to get lucky. So you don't even have a guaranteed chance of doing it, right? Which is really great. So summing up the on theme factor, nothing crazy, no tracer packs, no wild skins, no American Dad, no Nicki Minaj, no Squid Games, just characters from classic Call of Duty, from Modern Warfare and Ghosts for the skins, and nothing else crazy, no crazy camos, just stuff you believe that you could see in the real world. That's one reason that makes the game more fun for me. As soon as you start doing things like ruining the in-game world and kind of like ripping itself through the mud, and once you start adding these like really ridiculous collabs, I don't feel like the game's world even exists anymore. Now I just think it's a game almost meant for children. Remember guys, Call of Duty is a game rated M for mature. I think that's something you forget nowadays. But the point is, to summarize the on-theme factor, nothing crazy was here, and that's why I love it. No cartoon skins, celebrity crossovers, or unrealistic cosmetics. The cosmetics actually fit the game. They didn't destroy the atmosphere, and it all still felt like Call of Duty. And another thing that they did amazing, my next point, no seasons or battle pass. I don't log on to Call of Duty and get reminded that it's season 1, season 2, season 3. I don't get bombarded with pop-ups and advertisements telling me to buy the battle pass. There's no seasonal grind. I have no fear of missing out. And I know like they want to create FOMO to incentivize people to play the game, but that's just so lame. I don't want to be forced to play the game. I don't want to have a forced progression system. I want to be able to pick up and play where I left off. I think one thing that's really appealing about single player games is that you can pick them up and put them down. And with old Call of Duty, nothing was really changing. They would just be adding a little bit of microtransactions. Like with the Ghost, you'd get a new thing once in a while. But when you came back, if you had left, nothing really changed. The procedures were still the same. The guns were still the same. The skins were basically still the same. There was nothing so different that would just completely ruin it entirely. Like no one could have a huge advantage over you if you didn't play for a while and you just came back, which was really great. And there weren't a bunch of items that are like, oh, they're rare now because you had to be playing to get it at that time. I don't want that at all. I want to be able to buy something at all times throughout the game's life cycle and even after. Like right now, I can buy all the Ghost microtransactions if I wanted to right now, which is so lame that like during the season 2 battle pass, when season 2 is over, you can't get it anymore. Maybe that works in other games. Maybe that works in Fortnite. I just don't want that in Call of Duty. It's not meant to be a grindy game, and it can be because you know the whole prestige thing. But don't drive that home with seasons of battle passes, and it's so greedy. I think this whole seasons thing is so lame. That can stay in Fortnite. This seasons battle pass stuff that can stay in Fortnite. I don't want that in Call of Duty at all. You could just buy something if you wanted it, and that's why it was great. And I think the modern systems rely on like each season you're trying to create FOMO, fear of missing out, trying to make it grindy, and you're trying to constantly have people like engage with it, and that just really ruins it for me. Call of Duty is not the kind of game that's meant to have this kind of system with the season and battle pass stuff. As soon as they started doing that because they looked at Fortnite and thought that was the right thing to do, that was a huge turning point and a huge point where the game really went downhill, and it's really terrible for me to say that. I really want them to fix it, but I doubt they'll ever get rid of the seasons or battle pass thing, but what can you do? All right, I want to end this video with a small message to Activision. I'm going to acknowledge the fact that monetization isn't going to go away. I know that Activision is always going to be greedy. You know, they're always going to want money. Even back in the day, they were greedy, but they did it in a smart way versus a dumb way. If you are going to monetize your games, fine, do it intelligently. For example, lower price points are going to lead to more people to buying things. Like I said earlier, in my opinion, the cheap cosmetics are going to feel optional, feel like people can buy them, kind of do their thing. It's like they're there, you don't have to buy them, but expensive bundles, and especially when you start popping it up and making item shops and all these things, it feels so forced. If you're really greedy and you really want money, how about this? Make the game good first, then you'll get all the sales you want. All right, buddy? All right, Activision? Stop trying to put out a shitty product and then put in a bunch of, you know, free-to-play monetization models, a bunch of microtransactions, littering the game, instead of just focusing on what really matters. Make the game better. I want Modern Warfare 4 to be good, but after how it's going lately, I don't have much faith. Hopefully they can prove me wrong. Don't stuff store ads in my face. Am I playing Call of Duty or am I in a shopping center? Okay, calm down. I've seen less ads when I went on Amazon, okay? I know companies need to make money. They need money to make the games, but like I said already, you make a game great first, the money's gonna follow. The concept that we really need to take away here for Activision is smart greed versus dumb greed. Right now, if you're gonna be greedy, be smart and greedy. Make it so people actually want to buy the game and buy the microtransaction. But what you're doing right now, you're just being dumb and greedy. It's so blatantly obvious that no one wants to buy your game, and also the fact that your product is low quality, showing you're just trying to get something out just because you want quick money. It's showing the fact still that you're dumb and greedy. The core line here, the core takeaway is if Activision is going to be greedy, which they will, and they have been, be smart greedy, not dumb greedy. But Ghost, to me, proves something important. Players and people who play the game, they will spend money only when the system benefits them and it respects them. This has been Interops, where the inner desire for success has the outward operations to achieve it.